10:30 a.m. I'd like to open this meeting. If we could please all rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, good morning. I handed out the agenda, which is we haven't met for the last couple months, so we have kind of an open schedule for today. We may have a visitor to come talk to us today about some zoning request items that they were looking from the town and presenting to us some dispensary ideas for the Schofield Ave area, but they're not here at this moment, but they're aware and they're more than willing to come and discuss what they're thinking. We have no meeting minutes at this point to accept, and with that said, I'd like to just give the committee an update on membership status. I sent an email this morning, and Barbara Zarowski will no longer be able to participate in the committee. Barbara has moved to Charlton, and with that, she's no longer eligible. So what that means is we have a open membership position on the committee. So, we will seek to fill that position as soon as possible. So I ask members of the committee if you have anybody and you wish to have them for consideration, they're welcome to come and talk to the committee as, anybody. And I ask the public, we are looking for members. So, please, we're here to promote business in town. We're looking for fresh ideas, new ideas on things we could be doing to help promote new businesses in town, help existing businesses. And we do have, we're always looking for new members to bring another voice to this committee to help us move that mission forward. So, I ask the public, you can come to the town hall, talk to the Board of Selectmen, inquire here at the town hall, or come to these meetings every third Tuesday of the month, starting at 10:30 a.m. You can come here and ask questions and learn more. So with that said, does anybody have anybody that could potentially be considered as a member for the committee?
I have to think about it.
Right. I know we had some discussion before, but I don't know if anything's developed since the last time we've talked. But yeah, just think about it and see what happens.
This was I drafted just this letter. I've been talking about trying to put together a letter to send out to the community members, to the business owners in town. And part of the letter is asking, or if anyone's interested in joining the EDC, so that might be another avenue as well to just put out there.
Okay.
This is just a draft. It's just a first run through, but
Yep.
I'll send it.
If you want to,
I'll send it via email.
Take a look at it.
I already have it. Looks great.
Have you taken a look?
Yep.
Mark, have you seen the letter?
Yeah, I was just looking at it before we got started here.
I can send it via email to the entire committee. I just wanted something in hand today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking for feedback or comments, and if we don't, then you'd be ready to, we could just start,
Yes.
Sending this out to businesses in town.
Yes. I'm not sure where I get that list of businesses, but I'm happy to make sure that happens, so.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's town letterhead or something we want me to use
Yeah.
specific, so once we get those details, I'm happy to send it out.
Yeah, I have a letterhead
Okay.
template that, I can provide to you, or I can take this and put it in that, and then you can sign it. I don't know how.
Yeah, I didn't know if we all wanted to sign it. I put it on behalf of all of us. If we all wanted to put our names to it and sign it, that might be
Right.
helpful because everybody has a connection.
Yeah,
And if that's the case, then I would ask, maybe if people can send me an electronic, if you're comfortable sending me an electronic version of your signature, or if we want to sign here, that I could copy it onto the letter, however you choose.
yeah. I mean, if we don't have any, this is not on the letterhead, but, yeah, I think an electronic signature would be suffice for me. I don't have an issue with that.
Yep, me as well.
I already have mine electronically.
That's fine.
Took a picture of my signature. I can send it if you can paste it onto this.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
That would be satisfactory for my signature.
Yeah, I think it would be just nice to put our names to it, and,
Yeah.
we all have connections in the community, so it
Yeah.
just rings a little bit more personal when we put our names to it, I think, instead of as just a committee.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a step in the right direction for sure.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. So, if anybody has any comments for PJ, please, let's move this along,
Mhm.
right? I think this is a good thing to get out there in the public and get that ball rolling and again, continue the communication, letting the public know that we're here and,
I'll send it out one more time to everybody via email in case there's any grammatical or anything else that you see.
So we met this morning at 10:30 instead of 10. Is that a new time? If so, then that just needs to be adjusted, but.
yeah, that's gonna be the new time moving forward to, hopefully this works out for you.
Thank you.
Oh, good, good.
You
I
know.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, if it, it kinda, if it
Especially,
works out and, we'll try it
No,
out,
I
right?
really
We
appreciate
talked
that.
about moving it if we had to,
Yeah.
just the extra half hour helps out, and I thank everybody on the
Yeah.
committee for
we definitely
doing that.
appreciate your participation, so if it's a little tweak here, we can give this a whirl, see
Awesome.
how it goes, and if we need to change again, we will.
Yep.
We'll just keep moving. All right, so we've got the letter to the town, thank you. I wanted to, on the membership status, I think we've talked about it. I think, we have one full member, and we'll seek to fill that position. We still have the position of the secretary we discussed about rotating somebody to take meeting minutes. I think the last time.
Yep.
You were gonna do that, Todd. I don't know if the offer is still available for this meeting. We can still rotate. I don't think you fulfilled, I say fulfilled. It's not an obligation. I just ask if you'd
Yeah, I
be
can do
willing
that,
to
absolutely.
For, this meeting.
Sure.
If you're willing to take
Yep.
meeting minutes and draft up the meeting minutes after this. And
Perfect.
If you don't mind, and then the next time somebody else can do it.
No worries.
Unless somebody wants that position full-time, we'll continue to go about it in this fashion until the opportunity exists. If somebody wants to take that role, just, let me know and we'll make it happen. I really haven't heard, or, I have not been, we're all working from home and trying to figure it out, and personally trying to, get through this pandemic. And so my involvement or knowledge or, anything really to update the committee today on the Stevens Mills project, I don't have anything to add on where we are and all of that. And maybe, Mark or Joanne or Bill, and, I'm sure there's some folks there that have something to just provide, what's going on today.
So, last night at the Dudley Fall Town Meeting, there was some discussion about zoning change so that they could kind of prepare for the discussions with Camden, and that passed. So the zoning portion of it is done, which it didn't pass back in May. So that's good news. So now, I guess the selectmen and the town administrator will convene with proper conversations now that Camden will ultimately be engaged. They'll have conversations with them relative to what the next steps are. So it was super frustrating last night, in my opinion. The number of people that, you know, don't quite understand. First of all, it was a record town meeting, I think, in probably the last 5 years. There were about 175 people there. And it clearly showed that those who don't attend town meetings normally made it known because of the questions that were being asked about procedures and just what they're really actually voting on, and it's unfortunate. Hopefully, last night was a turning point for better attendance for these types of meetings, so that the town can really get their arms around certain things, and the townspeople can vote on things that they want to see happen and they don't want to see happen. What ends up happening, unfortunately, is that when a controversial vote comes to a head, everybody turns out, but they really don't know why they're there, and that's unfortunate. But
Is it because of the communication in town and really educating people on
No.
what's going on, or?
no, I think it's all available. I think the town did a great job in putting a video together about what is to happen over at the mill, and some people watched it, and the only thing that they took back was that there were going to be 150 weddings. The venue there was going to be, there were 150 weddings, and how is that going to impact, you know, me getting out of my street? And although that's important, because you need to understand it, but you got to understand the entire picture, you know, and I just don't think that was done. But anyway, there was a lot of clarity. Joanne was there, and she had the ability to get up and kind of share with her experience, you know, what this was really all about, and that's what it really needed. That's what it needed what needed to happen in order to help people understand. They all kind of thought that they were voting on the fact that, okay, if we say yes to this zoning change, then there's going to be 150 weddings over there. It's not how it works. And the same thing with there was a solar vote, and it was you know, a discussion about a pilot program, and you know, it's the town trying to work a relationship with someone using town land to put solar project on, and you know, there were a whole bunch of discussions about that, and it was really a, you know, kind of a no-brainer. But I may be biased. I do try to attend the meetings. I move things aside to make sure I put it in my schedule so that, you know, I'm aware of what's going on in the town that I live in, and so I just encourage everybody to do the same thing. And but I think it's somewhat normal. I guess it's just me venting this morning, but yeah, so that's the update on the mill. I think we're in a good spot right now, and now we're in a really good bargaining position. You know, one of the questions last night was about traffic, and hey, you know what? If these guys want to move there, it's a great opportunity to say, well, we need to widen the road, and if you want this, then we need that.
Yes.
And it really puts us in a great position to negotiate and get some things done that the town just doesn't have the money to do.
That's right.
Now you've got a contractor on the hook that if they want it, then they need to help us do certain things. And we've all seen by being on different boards, many times these contractors are willing to do it,
Yeah.
and then some. So
You know,
anyway, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I think just the, you know, and, you know, Bill, you could probably weigh in on this too. I mean, part of the whole deal was to do a traffic study anyways.
Mhm.
So that's all in as part of the due diligence of this whole project. So all the details will come out of it as far as what is needed and what the impact is gonna be on that community. But you're never gonna get there and talk about real facts unless we keep moving the ball forward, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I think, you know, the zoning amendment was critical to
Yes.
make this project move forward. So now that that has happened, I anticipate the developer will start preparing his submission package to the planning board. It requires a special permit, and there'll be lots of opportunity for people to attend hearings, learn about the specifics of the proposal, And as you indicated, there'll be detailed studies submitted for parking and traffic and environmental issues and things of that sort. So the planning board will give it a very careful review. There's also a process for the selectmen to make a recommendation to the planning board if the developer wants a waiver from the affordable housing requirement. So that would be another avenue for people to participate and get engaged in the process. So I haven't, the town meeting was just last night, so I don't know when the application will be submitted, but I anticipate, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have something before the board to start working on.
Awesome. Good. And could you give us maybe a summary of kind of what your position was last night at the meeting? Again, I apologize, I wasn't able to attend, and it sounded like it was a great meeting, but while we've got the topic on hand.
Well, basically, to get off of the kick, it wasn't about the Stevens Mills. It was about a zoning change. In order for smart growth to occur, you have to open up the door and have possibilities for development. And that starts with the zoning change. Instead of knocking down buildings, the philosophy has now become, try and look at what you have. Can you re-implement some things to use buildings for a combination of things? People, and I probably should have mentioned to them at the meeting, I go back as a townie to, we had a mill that ran 3 shifts. Cars went in and out of there. Traffic existed for 100 years that was going on. So it's about making the opportunity through zoning to be able to talk to people about what you can do. And then it becomes trust your boards to do what their job is, whether they're Board of Health, whether they're planning, whether they're zoning, to look at what needs to be required to meet the needs to do what it is they want to do. And I think that, and I'm going to say that goes back to our lack of explaining in simple terms to the public. When I said to them, this isn't about the mill, this is about a zoning change to make things happen. We all have memories of beautiful buildings that have been knocked down in the area, and then we have regrets later on because maybe we could have utilized them in a different manner. Well, this will give us that opportunity to do that. So once I think they understood that and they got off the kick of what that video said that particular company would come in and do, and they realize it's not about that. And I don't think people understand that zoning has to start with a planning board, and that there are hearings, and they have an opportunity to be heard. They had a chance to participate, and they can be involved in the process. They all hit the high anxiety level when they get to a town meeting, and they have to make a vote because they didn't understand the process that got you there. We have not had a lot of zoning changes. I go back to when we had no zoning in this town. The only way we got zoning was Central Mass came in, worked with us as a town and helped us to establish some zoning. And from that point, we've gone forward with the planning board being active to make some of those changes to adapt to the world. That's what this amounts to. We can't stay the same, and we can't keep looking back with regrets because we were not proactive, we were reactive on doing this. So it goes back to trusting some of the people that are in charge to be able to explain it and give you your opportunity to be heard. But this opens the door for a lot of things, not just that company. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for the town, and we move forward systematically. That's what it amounted to. So I think it was just understanding that it's process. That's all we're doing.
I thought you did a great job last night. Just, it's hard when people read what's on the warrant because it's so, the bylaws are just written in such a way that it's very hard for people to understand. And I thought you did a very good job of really just like leveling this is what it's about. It's not about this big thing. It's about this.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated what you said, and I thank you for doing so.
Okay, any other comments on that topic, or? No, it's good. I mean, it's good to hear. I'm glad it's still, alive, because it is the right thing for the town. To at least keep working the process and keep moving in a direction that we can, positively enhance the town in some way or fashion collectively. Right? But you can't have those discussions unless, we go through the process. So, yeah, thank you for that. And, you know, more to come for sure.
Is it? I have to take my leave of the group. Is there anything that we need to vote on today at all?
No voting today.
Okay, I'm sorry that
No
I have
items
to
on
leave early.
on the agenda, so.
All right. Count me in, and I'll be sending everyone an email.
All right, thank you.
Pardon me for having to leave.
Yep. And the only other thing, I think that, from an agenda standpoint is there any update to the video?
Yeah, we were just talking, when the college had kind of closed down when we were in the middle of trying to put that together, I just talked with Pam on this, and the people who did the nice video for us on Stevens would be the person for us to contact. So she mentioned she'll have them email me, let's see if we can get a date to try and set something up, because they'll be going on break in 6 weeks.
Yes.
And she did say he's local, the person who did work on that video, and maybe we can coordinate something. So we'll try and move it forward at this point.
Maybe we can start to line up, I know we talked about some letters and things, maybe we can start to line up, you know, who we're gonna do the video with, so that we can get that ready to go.
Yeah.
And I know we talked to Todd and some
I
others,
talked
so.
to 2 other banks, and the interest is there, and I think you're right. If we can pick a date with him when he's available, get the letter out and see who can participate or send a representative to participate, I think it'll work out.
Okay. And I don't know if you need me to, I'm engaged with Nichols on some other video work. So I know the assistant professor and stuff, and I'm doing some of my own stuff, but, if you need, and I'm meeting them this Friday on my own for my own stuff, but if you want me to put the bug in their ears, and if you, just let me know.
Sure.
If you need to
Sure.
say, hey, we're trying to get a hold of, this person, and I don't know if he's Robert Russo is the guy.
Yes, that's the
Okay,
name,
so,
yeah. Yep, exactly.
If you guys are waiting on something from him, and, maybe I can put the word in to him to say, hey, we're ready to move forward, but whatever, I just wanna throw that out there, if you need some.
Yeah, well, Pam got us kind of set up, and then, again, all kinds of things broke loose, so
Yeah.
that's what the issue was, but, yeah, I mean, I think Pam can definitely align us, but if you're meeting with him, just let him know you're chair of the economic development, and that we're gonna be looking to do some videos as well, and,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's not gonna be any pushback, but
No,
It's timing and whatnot.
The way they arranged it with me, they brought in some students to help on a project that I have them working on. Did he do the same for your folks?
We never got that far.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the school closed down at that point, and we
Okay.
didn't have contact. So
Okay,
it's about if you can put it into, and she was gonna send me his email, but if he can contact either Mark or myself and get us going to set up
I'll give you his
something.
email if you want.
That'd be good, if you
Yeah?
can send that,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah,
Excellent.
however I can help, it just, I don't have a long relationship, but I do have a relationship, and it is moving forward for my own, and so if there's, wherever you guys are hung up, if you need me to help,
Mhm.
I'll try
Sure.
to help. I'll give you his email, and you can send it to him.
Good.
And I'll let him know too this Friday, on that front. So, I guess the next item is, talking, Bill, do you have any update, that
Sure.
you'd like to share,
A
or?
couple of things. Also, last night at town meeting, there was a zoning article to rezone 115 Schofield Avenue. And I believe Michaela Mann had reached out to you, Brian, to come and present her proposal to the committee today. What happened last night at town meeting is that the meeting passed over the article. So it was not acted on. There was some concern about the effect that a second marijuana retail store would have on the one that has already gone through the Board of Selectmen at the Chase Mill. So rather than, not knowing what would happen, the selectmen wanted to pass over the articles to get more information about how that would affect the Chase Mill property. So that project, I believe the reason Michaela's not here today is because, it didn't happen last night. So I don't know, I haven't talked to her about her plans, whether she wants to, give up that Dudley site or perhaps wait until the next town meeting and try again. I don't really know. But she had proposed the 115 Schofield Ave was the site of Metal Logic's Properties, I believe, is a metal fabrication company.
123 Schofield?
One-
123
115, I think.
Oh, so 115.
115 Schofield Avenue. So the reason for the zoning change is that it's currently zoned industrial 43, but marijuana shops are only allowed in industrial 130. So by citizen petition, the owner requested the zoning change to industrial 130 to allow a marijuana use to go in. So that project is stalled at the moment. They had come before the planning board for a recommendation. The planning board had supported the zoning change, but due to the passing over the article, nothing happened last night in terms of approval or denial. So it's still possible that she could come back in for the zoning change at a future date.
Did you guys know that it was going to be passed over?
I received a letter yesterday morning that was under consideration. So
From selectmen?
it was a last minute kind of thing.
Yeah, which makes sense, the reason they, had decided to do that. We get two licenses to sell, and one is, I guess, already set to go, and that's where Drafters is, and that's a grow and retail.
Yes.
So marijuana grow is only available in mill districts.
And industrial 130.
And 130?
Yes.
For grow too?
Yes.
I thought grow was only for mill, but, okay, that may have
I'm
changed.
pretty sure it's allowed in
All
130.
right. But anyway, so, yeah, Paul Joseph, one of the selectmen, had indicated that, let's do one and make sure we do it right, and make sure it's right for the town. And it looks like it's going to be very positive on a revenue standpoint, but, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But, yeah, that's why I wasn't surprised to not see them, because obviously that part didn't pass last night, so, yeah.
On that note, the applicant for the marijuana establishment at the Chase Mill has filed his application with the planning board. So that's now been submitted to start the process. Came in last week. The planning board has scheduled a public hearing for November 18th. So all the abutters will be notified. There'll be a legal notice in the paper. I'll put the application materials up on the website so folks have a chance to see what's being proposed. They're proposing a retail store and cultivation. I think it's a tier 7 or 8. It's about 60 to 70,000 square feet of grow space, I think, something of that sort. They're proposing to reuse the mill. They're not adding any new structures. They're going to use the existing parking that's there. So the changes on the neighborhood will be fairly minimal in terms of changes to the building and the site. But there'll be a lot of interior renovations, obviously, to accommodate that.
Would that whole building be utilized for that?
The entire building is larger than what they're proposing.
Okay.
So I don't know what their plan is with the rest of the space. I have a copy of their plan, if I can pass it around if anybody's interested, or leave it out on the table. But it's, pretty straightforward in terms of just using the existing structure.
Just we go up one at a time.
So it shows the existing parking, the existing buildings. Pretty simple site plan at this point in time. I have two other things. I'll pass this around for you. I think this is particularly relevant to this committee. The town is participating with the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission on a micro-enterprise assistance grant program. So CMRPC solicited interest from area towns whether they wanted to participate in this process, and Dudley agreed and signed up for it, and CMRPC prepared the Community Development Block Grant application, which was successful. So there was a couple of weeks of getting the program organized and fleshed out, and it's now active. So what this means is that small businesses with up to 5 employees can apply to the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission for up to $10,000 of grant assistance for impacts due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So if there are any businesses out there who have been impacted by COVID-19 and they're under 5 people, and they also have to meet certain income guidelines, it's primarily for lower and moderate income people. But I think there's certainly there must be a number of businesses in town that have been impacted by the pandemic and would qualify for this program, so I would certainly encourage them to make contact with the CMRPC. And the information that I handed out to the committee now is taken from the website of CMRPC, and you can see they have a couple of pages relating to the program.
Yeah.
There's the application form is available. The one thing I'd like to just read is on, it's actually the 3rd page of the handout, the use of funds, so that if anybody's listening today or watching today, they'll know what the funds can be used for. So it says funds can be used for working capital to cover business costs such as rent, staffing, and utilities. Funds can also be used for purchasing personal protective equipment and other items clearly required to operate in compliance with pandemic-related public health requirements. Other uses that may be eligible include technical assistance and those that generally support and stabilize the business in response to the pandemic. So I think there's a wide range of uses here that are eligible, and I just wanted folks to know. The contact information, certainly they can call me or send me an email. My email address is planner@dudleyma.gov, and the address for the Microenterprise Assistance Grant Program is by email. It's microenterprise, MICROENTERPRISE @cmrpc.org, and their website is www.cmrpc.org/microenterprise. And the phone number is 508-459-3339. Any questions or comments on this program?
Good.
I do not.
If anybody knows of a business, certainly refer them either to me or to CMRPC to get the application rolling.
Very good. Thank you.
Sure. The other thing I have is a press release. There is a meeting Thursday night. The town has is also participating with CMRPC on an infrastructure planning program for the Jericho-Brandon area of town. And there's a public meeting Thursday night here in the town hall, beginning at 5:30. And the intent of the workshop is to ask folks in the neighborhood what the infrastructure problems are, so that the engineers from Ty and Bond who are doing the study will learn firsthand from folks how they're affected by deficient infrastructure in that area. So this infrastructure plan will include subsurface, water and sewer mains, will include drainage, and surface facilities like roads, sidewalks, crosswalks, that sort of thing. So this is a really older part of town. A lot of the water and sewer mains, are over 100 years old. they're prone to failure, breakage, things of that sort. So the approach is for Ty and Bond to do a planning level study, that is to map all the existing infrastructure and identify what the significant problems are in the area. Then the town would move forward on more detailed engineering studies in order to submit applications to make improvements in the area. So it might be replace, you know, a water main someplace, or add a sidewalk, or whatever the most important concerns are. So that's why the meeting tonight is very important, so that the people that live there can express their desires for the area, and that can be taken into account in developing the plan.
I think you will, you'll get some participation, but I think you better be prepared to have a conversation about the number of trucks that go there coming from the Ramco plant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've had some discussions with some residents, maybe, or not.
I have not. I hope the engineers have at this point, but if not, then
Yeah.
we'll find out about it Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's permitted, but there's just, it's incredible the amount of activity that is going on that street. And then, you know, if you go and you make an investment in, I mean, I think it would be great for crosswalks and things like that, but as far as, you know, under the road, if that sort of, and this is just my opinion, that sort of activity or traffic that goes through there with the size vehicles that are going through there, it's just a matter of time before you're doing it all over again, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it can be adjusted or changed or rerouted or whatever, but.
Well, all that heavy truck traffic might be impacting the road conditions, so that would be important to know, and then to make whatever changes would be necessary to handle that truck traffic.
Sure.
So it would be very important to know that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Good stuff. Thank you, Bill.
Sure.
Nothing else?
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay. All right, well, so I think at this point, I'd open it up, any new items that anybody has that they'd like to bring up to the committee. I guess not. So,
Is there any new information on the economic development plan that's CMRPC is working on for the committee?
you know, that's a good question, Bill. I haven't heard from them in some time. I think I need to follow up and see, invite them here, or at least get an update from
Mhm.
Kerry and see where they're at, because it should be, you know, there should be some more to report. There was back in February, and then, you know, with the events, you know, we haven't been able to hold a
Mhm.
meeting, so there should be some information. So let me reach out to Kerry and see where they're at on their studies. They had
Okay.
some further results to share with us,
We could certainly do a Zoom call with them
Yeah.
if they had things to present.
right?
So that might be,
Yeah,
it's probably about time to get some kind of a
exactly.
report from them. They've been
That's
working
right.
on it for some time. I know they're obviously affected by the pandemic. They're not working in the office, so I don't know how that has affected their, you know, their progress on this plan, but I think it would be nice to get an update, so.
Yep, I agree. I'll take that as an action, and I'll give everybody an update on what the next steps are for that.
Also, any meeting notes from the Ag Forum that, you know, that was created as a result of this board? So even if it's a summary of their minutes, or if someone wants to come and just give us an update on what's happening, or if there's anything, you know, how we can be of further assistance to help them move things along, that probably wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an ongoing action item on our part, was to at least bring the meeting minutes here and review them and discuss them as we see necessary. So that fell off of this agenda. So if we can, you know, if we can continue to hold meetings, you know, and have a quorum, we can continue to move these action items along, then that's great, right? So, I think that, you know, the meeting minutes for the ag are public. We can pop them up and send them around as a group and have some discussions between our official meetings here on the third Tuesday of the month. You know, I think that's what we can do, at least in lieu of having the meeting minutes in front of us at this time. But yeah, let's add that as an ongoing action item for us, again, moving forward for these meetings. And it's a good point, Mark. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Nothing. Anybody else have any other input?
Tad, I'm just curious, you're the commercial loan officer for Bank Hometown?
I am.
You know, how is business going for you with the pandemic? Is your bank
It was,
active?
it's been an extremely interesting year. You know, things got really, really crazy during the payroll protection program, the PPP loan money.
Mhm.
The bank, for a period of time, that's all we did. You know, when that was rolled out, we've done over $75 million worth of loans to small, medium-sized businesses, which has been great. We're actually beginning the forgiveness portion of you know, folks that received PPP funding. We're waiting to hear if there's going to be an additional round of funding, even for folks that have already received funding in the first round. You know, I'm in touch with business owners all the time, and one of the things, especially customers or business owners that were forced to shut down, like especially restaurants, not so much like pizza places or places that do a lot of takeout business, but actually like family-style restaurants that may even have like a bar component. They've been severely hurt, and those are the ones on the top of the list that are looking to see if they can get more funding. In regards to other types of loans, after the dust settled on those at the beginning, you know, late spring, early summer, we got back to, you know, business as usual. You know, it's the volume is down a little bit, but we're still lending. It's just, you know, it's interesting because, you know, we can look at historical numbers, you know, on tax returns for 2019 for a lot of businesses, which we still require, and it's a good starting point. But we really want to see what's going on now, because things that happened in 2019 are so much different from, you know, the environment that we're in. So we're just trying to take it as best as we can, be proactive and reach out to our customers. And just, we've done a lot of modifications to loans, helped customers, you know, with interest only, in some cases full deferments for 90 days. We are starting to do some, because of the interest rate fluctuations, we're helping folks when we can to try to get through it. But it's been extremely busy, but we're still lending. Construction is, you know, people are still, you know, you drive around, you can see it. The real estate market's still hot. You know, we've got a couple of folks on our committee here that my guests can attest to that. We don't know when it's going to end, but most of the folks that I know that are either putting up houses or doing renovation projects, especially in Worcester, things are not on the market for very long. So it's just it's still quite busy. I don't know if you have anything to add regarding the
No, it's
real
pretty much
estate.
still ongoing. The
Yeah.
activity is out there.
So
Mhm.
it's busy. I think it's going to get busier within the next couple of months, depending on the stimulus package.
Mhm.
And I hope, I really do, as busy as it was, I hope that the folks that need more funding
Mhm.
will be able to apply for it and get it.
Mhm.
Because
Good.
it's just, there are a number of folks that are really, really in harm's way because of what's happened.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I-
appreciate if you could, you know, pass on this grant application
Oh,
material.
I will. I heard that was out there, and
Mhm.
it's just, I'm gonna go through my list of customers,
Mhm.
you know,
Great.
within those guidelines, and just, you know, have them either reach out directly to you or to the website and
Okay.
see if they can apply.
Terrific.
Okay, did somebody else have something to say? Jason, you have something? No? Okay. Mark, anything else?
Good.
You good? Joanne, you good?
I'm good. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 11:15. Meeting is closed. Thank you.